Hi you guys, this is part 2. I am so sorry that I got interrupted like that. I did not put my phone on airplane, but I had to leave anyway. So I'm going to try and finish this before we're headed off to softball practice. So I will try to keep this as clear and precise as possible. If you missed part 1, you need to watch it to understand what I'm talking about here with this terrascope. This is the full moon over Kabul, Afghanistan. Again, this is part 2 and continuing where I left off. I gave a brief history from 2019 to the present on our troop numbers and surge in Afghanistan. Basically, we had up to 15,000 troops by September of 2018. And we increased our air supports, including F-16 fighters, the A-10 ground attack aircrafts, and B-52 bombers. Then we started drawing down troops, an agreement with the Taliban. The thing that had me most upset and why I just started recording was for 2 reasons. Number 1, Biden assumed office. We only had 2,500 troops in Afghanistan. It's actually worse than that because those 2,500 troops were spread thin because they were spread between Iraq and Afghanistan. Okay? But here's the thing. We had 18,000 contractors there. 18,000. For each branch of the military, there were at least 7 major contractors doing operations there. And when you get contractors there in the Middle East, think Eric Prince. Yes. You know Eric Prince has gotten billions and billions of dollars. But the reason why the surge matters so much and had me so pissed off is because we surged troops up to 15,000, including their weaponry, and then pulled back. So 2,500 troops and all this weaponry for 15,000 troops. So we're leaving those F-16 fighters, the A-10 ground to attack aircraft, the B-52 bombers, all of that extra military hardware, weaponry was left on purpose, accidentally, maybe. Eric Prince et al. Siphoning off our resources to hand over to the Russia. So I was upset about the 18,000. I was upset about the extra weaponry left. But this is what pissed me off the most because this terrascope, because this is the full moon in Afghanistan over Kabul, not only does it have war on the ascendant, and we've got the China asteroid up here, China in the skies, the Emperor and the Empress finally merge. They're together. This is what was meant to happen all along in Kabul for the Russia. Donald handing everything over. It's crowned by an agreement. The Emperor and the Empress are one again. The United States is out. At the basis of this, now this is for those 18,000 contractors. Why are they there? Because of the Emperor Empress, because of the agreement. And the gravitational force between their feet, what's the purpose? What's hidden in the subterranean that we can't see of their real defenses, their real peoples and what they do? Well, I have the Ace of Wands here, which is to subvert something. The Three of Swords is heartache and betrayal, but no, this is reversed. This is about setting things correct for the Emperor and the Empress and the agreement in the skies. So, I had gone through this part on what's up with the 18,000 contractors there in Kabul. I ended here. I got cut off. Those 18,000 contractors, their partnerships are the minions on the ground with the money. Dispersal of money and resources to the King of Swords. A hacking nation. If there are troops, so they're there to disperse the money and the data for a hacking nation, the King of Swords. You can think Iran, you can think China. I mean, Iran and China are pretty chummy these days. Iran has excellent hackers, as does the North Korea. That's why they're there. This sixth house here, this has to do with our military, public servants. Why are the 18,000 contractors there in Kabul? The Seven of Swords, to steal stuff. We're not trying to escape. We're taking stuff, and we're gonna like it. Look at that smile. Fifth house of the sun, which is supposed to be about a leader over Kabul. The Ten of Swords. The leader is gone. There is no leader. The Emperor and the Empress are taking over. This is the fourth house of defenses. We have sudden shocking. The fourth house here, actually, the ground below, the north node, the pain, Lilith, dark moon, is actually what's on the ground. The astrology said, look at the seventh house partners. That's why they're there. The agreement in the skies between the Emperor, the Empress, their communications are about setting things straight and subverting everything going on the ground. Their defenses, the Page of Cups. Good news, Jay, we have what we want. The Four of Swords. I have dormant malware. This is dormant intelligence, a dormant plan. But this is the silver lining again. I think all these people are on intercepts because my Page of Cups has to do with AI and intercepts. Oh, look at the Taliban in Pakistan. The Al Nubra, Syria, Taliban, Pakistan. These guys got stuck, caught on intercepts. And then this is the malware, the intelligence operation on the ground these guys are trying to pull off, and that's what their partners are doing. Third house communications agreements to subvert and set straight what the Emperor and Empress wanted in Kabul. The second house is this area has to do with your income, your gains, your values, your substance, for the luxury and comfort of the oligarchs. I mean, they got a ton of money from the United States. First house, who are you? 18,000 contractors. Well, we're the ones. Hey, you guys are here. Good news. It's time. The Two of Swords reversed. We have a target. We have a settlement. We got what we want. We're in for destruction. Pluto to destroy. Saturn in Aquarius, a new leadership. Jupiter in Aquarius, look at all these goods we got for our friends. It's just bullpucky. But I have two more things to tell you. I have been having this little note I've been carrying forever. I don't know where it started, but that the June 5th, 2020 eclipse, it was a very consequential date regarding candidate Biden. I cannot remember how I came to that conclusion, but it's always been there. The Gemini Sag full moon eclipse on June 5th, 2020, a consequential date. I don't know why I picked that. I will tell you that here, the North Node is 29 degrees Gemini, meaning we were going to see a new cycle of things that we haven't seen in 18 years, because that's how long it takes the North Node to get through the zodiac. And I kept thinking about 9/11. So for whatever reason, I picked that date. The 11th house, this cusp here is 11 Gemini. This cusp is the 9th house, lands far away. Afghanistan, our wars overseas, the Russia. So it's a very consequential date. For whatever reason, I picked out 11 Gemini back then. On April 13th, 2021 is when Biden announced an end to the Afghanistan war, people in Afghanistan, by September 11th. This, I told you, we had 11 Gemini here on the cusp of the 9th house from June 5th. Also on this date, April 13th, 2021, I have a note here, that the United States, I don't know if it was that the Senate Intel, nope. Was the Senate Intel report June 5th? I can't remember. But the United States finally connected the Trump campaign to Russia intelligence. So it was either this date or this date. But I always said that this eclipse was a very consequential date for candidate Biden. And here we are.
There's a bell. I'm in my edits. I just noticed this. Look at the 6th house cusp. The 29 degrees Gemini, 13 minutes. It says chaos right there. You know what that is? That is, number one, the 6th house cusp in this chart. The 6th house cusp has to do with the United States military and public servants. Well, over in Kabul. And the asteroid chaos is right there. I just said that June 5th eclipse was so consequential for Biden. The North Node, the way of the future, where we're headed, was 29 degrees Gemini. It's crazy. It's all related.
So there's that one thing, because now we're in Kabul. We're pulling out. What was the second thing? I've talked about EncroChat and ANOM. This was in existence from about 2016-ish to 2020. In like May, it was outed basically. This is an FBI app. This we found out about on June 8th. From 2018 to 2021, third country was operating this app. These are both FBI apps. They were apps that were created for the biggest crime syndicates so that they could talk with encryption and not get caught. And they could just like maybe swipe their phone and all the data information gets erased. This one malfunctioned in May 2020. It was spotted because the swipe feature stopped working because there was malware implanted. There was an arrest in May 2020. EncroChat said, hey, we don't know if we can protect your stuff anymore. Best power down your phone and get rid of it. But this ANOM was still in the ethers and nobody knew about that one. This is a different story. So, how does this relate to what's going on in Afghanistan? Well, I reviewed that timeline kind of in the first video. Look here. There's like agreements going on in February with the Talibs for withdrawal. Also on March 1st, President Ghani states, Afghanistan was not part of this deal. He wanted to reject the prisoner exchange, but 5,000 Talibs were released March 10th. So we have activity here like in the fall 2019, fall 2018, fall 2017. Not a whole lot going on. February 2020, March. Then March, June, July, August, November, January. A lot of activity. Well, the EncroChat bust was right here in mid-May. And all of a sudden, boom, June 18, 2020, we're decreasing troops to 8,600. They were at 13,000. They basically, the Talibs had to come and honor their agreement in order to have the withdrawal, but they disregarded how many times the Talibs violated the agreement and just kept reducing. Okay? The EncroChat bust was around this time. Later that summer, it was very upsetting, but this is the reason why. It was very upsetting because, remember D.N.I. Radcliffe, all of a sudden he's put in. he decides to unmask some of the reports by President Obama. In my opinion, that is a direct relationship to this EncroChat bust, because they all realize their people, probably in Afghanistan, their mercenaries, are using this, and they're all getting tied to whatever encryption was going on with the back channel of the United States, working with the Talibs, the Russia, the China, etc., etc. I think that's why they unmasked some of Obama's things. There's a time in here, too, that Trump, I mean, he went on a lot of riffs and a lot of freakouts, but this was a really significant time, end of May into June. This is why they were so busted. Okay, so that's that. I will get this part 2 up for you guys, okay? Talk to you later. Bye.